Hey everyone, welcome back to White Sparrow Living, Luke 12:6. I'm Wendy, and on today's episode we're doing some fall DIYs from Dollar Tree items. I've got some family updates, some good word. What else do we have? I think that's it. If you're not already, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button down below, as well as the little bell right next to it so that you can be notified every time I upload a brand new video. If you like these projects, don't forget to give them a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think, and now, without further ado, let's get started. For this project, I have a beautiful bounty full of all kinds of fall colors and a rake and a plunger handle. I'm never really sure what I'm going to use when I start a project, so I just threw everything in there. So I'm going to take off the sticker from the plunger handle, and it leaves a little sticky residue, so I'm going to sand that off with my sandpaper. And then I wanted to make sure that my plunger would fit into my rake top. I didn't buy the bottom part, but I'm going to spray my rake top with my Fusion Krylon matte white spray paint. And I gave this a couple of coats just so I would be sure that I didn't see any of the orange peeking out. And then once that's covered and completely dry, I'm going to take my Hello Lobby chalk paint in French linen, and I'm just going to give it some distressing kind of with a dry brush and just mix it all in there so that it doesn't look quite so brand new and freshly painted, like it's been outside for a while. So then I'm going to take my handle and I put a whole bunch of hot glue inside the little hole and then place my plunger handle inside. And then I found this really pretty, kind of like a green ticking fabric at the Dollar Tree. They don't give you a whole bunch, but it's perfect for what we need. It's all wrinkly, so I'm going to use my handy dandy little mini iron from Walmart, and I'm just going to iron that out because I'm going to be making some ribbon strips. And so all I'm going to do is take my ruler and make 1.5 inch slits. That's hard to say, 1.5 inch slits so that I can then open my fabric up and then just rip those apart. Now they're going to be all curly and small, so I'm going to take my iron again and flatten those out. But I do want that raw edge, the ripped look. So once I get those ready, I'm going to take my leaves from my Dollar Tree stems and I'm going to decide on which ones I want, and I need to kind of measure to see how large it's going to be so that I know what size to make my bow. Now, I had a sweet friend, Bryn, send me some of this Dollar Tree Birch ribbon, and it's kind of a weird texture. It's not paper, but it's not fabric either. So the cool thing about this is that you can rip this to the size that you want to make it for whatever ribbon or project that you're doing. So I just made that into the size that I wanted, and then I'm going to make little bows by folding it over into thirds and then just crunching it in the middle. And then for my fabric strips, I'm just going to fold those in half and then alternate which way the loops go so that one's going one way and one's going the other way, if that makes sense. And then I'll take a chenille stem and wrap that around the entire thing and then foof out my little loops to make a sweet little bow. Then once I get my stems to exactly where I want them, I'm going to place them down on my project and then cut off the stems that will be overflowing, but I do want to have enough so that when I put my tie straps on there, it will catch them and attach to my handle. And then once I've got my leaves and flowers attached securely to my rake, I'm going to add my sweet little bow and use the chenille stem that I had left over in the back and attach it to the back of the handle. And then I took 2 of Dollar Tree's mini pumpkins in burlap, and I'm using the clip that's already on there and just attaching them to my greenery at the top of my bow. Then I'm going to take a little piece of plank that comes, I think, in packages of 4 or 5 from the Dollar Tree, and I'm painting that with a mixture of moss and celery to semi-match my green striped fabric. And then once it's painted and dry, I'm going to sand that down so that it's nice and smooth. And then I'm going to use my white paint pen to write on my sign, and it's kind of a, I guess, a farmhouse summarization of Psalms 107:37, which says, "They sowed fields and planted vineyards, yielded an abundant harvest." And so I'm going to put that down there and then write Psalms 107:37. But I do have to say that a few verses earlier in that same chapter, in 33, it says, "God changed rivers into desert, springs of water into thirsty ground, fruitful land into salty waste because of the wickedness of its people. And so he does the exact opposite for the wicked people, but those who are afflicted, he's bringing bountiful abundance. And I just think this is a really good way of remembering where it says in verse 42, the upright saw this and rejoiced. All wickedness shut its mouth. Whoever is wise will take note of these things, will ponder the merciful deeds of the Lord. And then to attach my sign, I'm just going to take some hot glue and put a chenille stem across it, and then I'll fold up the two sides once that glue's dry and attach that into my rake on those little, what are those called? I guess like a fork has tines. Would a rake have tines? I don't know, but I'm just going to attach it to those and get that all snug as a bug in a rug. And then it's done. And here it is all finished. And I just love this soft, pretty color palette for fall. Now I made this for my Uncle Fred's door at the new facility that he's in. And some of you may remember that we had him in a facility up north where he and my aunt used to live, well, for 50, 60 years. I don't even know how long, just forever. And we needed to get him closer to town because that was a 2-hour drive. And so I wasn't able to get there as often since my aunt has passed away. And so we got to visit with him. And you also may know that my mom has just started her first round of chemo a couple of weeks ago. So in order to be able to take care of her and not be out of town to take care of him, we've got him closer to us. So he's a 7-minute drive away. And I think he's already getting tired of us because we're just kind of a big tornado coming in and visiting him. And here we all are. We got his cute little apartment all set up so that it is familiar and looks like home from when my aunt decorated years and years ago. So it's good to have him back in town, and I wanted to give him something for his door that wasn't too girly, but he does love beautiful decor. He has to because he was married to my aunt for 50 years. So anyway, I love all this, how it turned out. I'm glad I got to update you guys with a little bit, and I hope you like it too. For our next project, I'm using the outside ring of one of those 3D wreath forms from Dollar Tree, and then 10 of these pumpkins. I have 5 in the orange and white gingham and 5 in the black and white. And the first thing I did was used my needle nose pliers, well, they're, you know, the cutty ones, and I'm going to take off one of those little rings that's attached to it, and then I cut the other side of my wire circle so that I could start feeding my styrofoam pumpkins onto the wreath form. And so I'm going to count in 4 of those little sections of the pumpkin, and then I used a big fat needle to push into the side so that that wire would feed in and go around that little curve. It starts to get a little tricky because it's got the fabric on the outside, so that's why I use the needle, and then you just look for that same hole. When you're coming out of the pumpkin, you want to make sure you don't take any of the threads of the fabric because it will snag it. So just kind of move that around until you get that wire through, and then I'm just going to alternate between the orange and the black and then shove my wreath form through there. And then for the last one, I'm going to put the final pumpkin on, and then using those needle nose pliers again, I'll take the other side of the wreath form and stick it in there. I didn't glue it or anything, and it's still intact and stays together because it was the perfect amount of pumpkins for the wreath form. And then to hang it, I just used a black piece of grosgrain ribbon and fed that through between 2 of the pumpkins, tied it in a knot at the top, and it's all done. And here it is all finished, and I was going to put a bow on it and do some other embellishing like I usually do, but I thought that the fabric of the gingham was just so pretty, and then alternating those colors gave it enough interest and cuteness. But I love the simplicity of this, and it was so easy and took me about 5-10 minutes to make. I love it, and I hope you like it too. Here's another super cinchy project. I've got 2 of the glass vases. Now these come in 2 different sizes. One is 7-inch and one is 9-inch. The 7-inch is actually 7¼ inches. Then I'm also going to be using a drinking glass, and these are the ones that have the gold rim around the top. But the most important thing is that the glass is the same diameter at the bottom as it is at the top. So after I removed the pesky little stickers that are on the bottom, I took my white chalk paint and I'm just going to paint 1 coat on the top and then just go around the bottom a little bit so that when I put my ribbon over it, it'll cover everything up and there's nothing showing. Because these are supposed to look like birch, I'm gonna leave the strokes of my brush in the paint. So normally you would want to cover all of this up, but I thought the lines looked really good and matched with the ribbon. So now I'm going to take some hot glue, and starting at the bottom, I'm going to wrap it around and glue it on the bottom where I start, and then I'll wrap it around and cut it off and glue it again. Super easy, and it's just got a teeny bit of overlap so that you don't see any glass. And then on the large one, it took 3 full strips, and then on the medium size one, it took 2 full ones. And if you remember, you can rip this ribbon apart because it's that weird material. And so I tore that down to the size that I needed so that it would end exactly at the top of my vase, which is actually the bottom of my candle holders. So you can use this 2 different ways. We can use them as candle holders by having them upside down and just placing your candles on top of there. And I think these are so pretty, and this ribbon just really looks like birch. Now, I've made a birch project before where I covered some pool noodles with paper, and it was really fun and it looked really good, but this is so much easier. So the other way you can use these is I have a beautiful olive tree out front. So I'm going to go out with my scissors. I really should have had some clippers, but I'm going to cut off some branches and leave them rather long. And of course, Lola has to come outside and see what I'm doing and guard me, I guess. She looked like a watchdog out there. Well, she is our watchdog, but she's just checking out the street. And then I'm going to turn my vases over and use them as they were intended by putting these beautiful olive branches inside. And I love them either way, both as vases and as candle holders. But you guys saw how easy this was. I love how it turned out. And thank you, Bryn, for the ribbon and all of your Sweet Perky prizes. I appreciate them so much. But I love this, and I hope you like it too. For this DIY, I'm using a gather sign from the Dollar Tree, some burlap covered pumpkins, and some nails. And all I did was pulled off the twine from the back of the sign, and I'm going to be using a chippy paint technique that my sweet friend Karen at the Loft Home Decor shared a few months ago with me, and well, with everybody. But I'm just going to take my white chalk paint, put it on a block of wood. This is just a scrap piece of wood, and you want to put it on there pretty generously and then just rub it across the wood. And then reload and do it again. Go from the other side just to get a good coverage. I want this to be pretty thick with the coverage and only have some of that brown showing through. But if you want a lighter coverage, you can just not put as many coats on. So now I had made a project last video where I took the sawtooth hangers off of the back of these pictures. So always keep those because I'm going to use those in this project, and you just hammer those into the back of your sign. And then I'm going to take the little clips off of the bottom of my pumpkins, and you want to be kind of careful here so that you don't rip the burlap. And sometimes there's some extra glue that somebody kind of went ham with, and so I pulled that off as well. Now I'm going to place these so that they're semi-equidistant apart, but I have to have an area that will handle where they go so that they're attached nice and securely. That'll make sense in a minute. But I'm going to take 4 of my Dollar Tree nails and hammer those into those holes just to get them started. But I'm doing all of this on the back. So what's going to happen is my nail's going to go through the front of my sign, and then I'll attach my pumpkins to those. So I took a drill and made a pilot hole and then hammered my nails all the way through. And I just stacked some Dollar Tree signs so that I could get it high enough so that it didn't go into my desk. And then I turned my sign over and punched my pumpkins into the nails so that I would have a good hole on there. And then I took my hot glue and covered my nail completely and at the base so that this way my pumpkins won't twist and turn and they'll be completely stable. And you don't want to lose that little hole where you punch it in originally because you want it to go back into that same hole. So now I'm going to take a couple mini sunflowers from the Dollar Tree. I love these leaves because they're a really pretty color. They're not super bright or anything. I took 3 of those, cut them apart, and then I'll hot glue them into the way that I want them. So I have one facing up, one facing down, and then one facing out just to give it some cuteness. Glued that down, and then I took my teeny tiny sunflowers, pulled them off of the stem, cut off the backing of the flower so it didn't stick up too far and it would get a good adhesion to my leaves, and then nestled those together in some hot glue, and it's done. And here it is all finished, and you see here why we needed 2 of those sawtooth picture hangers on the back. I strongly dislike whenever any kind of picture or hanging needs 2 pieces because it's such a pain, but in this case I want this to be stable, and I added some greenery in a little pot and then a sweater that I found that matches our little project. So you can hang this on the wall or in your entryway. It's nice and secure, will hold maybe not my purse because my purse is really heavy, but you could also put this in your kitchen and use it for dish towels. I love how it turned out, and I hope you like it too. For this project, I'm using 4 Dollar Tree rugs, and I got the green ones and the beige ones. I'm going to find the right side of the fabric. There are 2 sides. I will eventually cut off the seams of both sides of my rugs, and I'm going to fold them over and make some block letters. I'm just writing it out. I'm doing an F, A, and an L. Obviously, we're going to be writing out fall, so it'll be 2-sided, but I want my letters to be a little bit bigger than I really want them to be because we're going to stuff it also. Now, I want each of my letters to have the fringes on the ends. So for the F and the L, I have the white fringes, and they're a little bit less dense than the green ones. So I am going to double those up, and then once I get my letters together, I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and sew all of the edges of my letter except for the one that has the fringes. So that back side I'm going to leave open because that's where I'm going to do my stuffing from. So I'm just going to go around with my sewing machine. I had actually planned to use my fabric tack or fabric adhesive from Walmart. It comes in the tube, kind of like the E6000 tubes, but it was all dried up, so I didn't get to use it and had to pull my sewing machine out. I'm glad I did because it does look a lot more stable and heavy duty. So I'm using an old throw pillow that I had tucked away in the closet because I knew I would need to stuff something. I'm going to take it apart and kind of shred it and stick it into the longer areas. If you need to get into some nooks and crannies, you can use something long like a ruler or something to get those tucked in there. But then once I get all of my stuffing in, I'm going to take it back to my sewing machine and sew up that fringy side because it won't really show if I mess up and I kind of go crookedy or anything, but I did a pretty good job. Anyway, I'm going to take my scissors and cut off all of the leftover thread. This material does fray a lot, but it's going to stop where I made those stitches, or where if you're using the adhesive, it'll stop there. So you want to pull those all out ahead of time so that it's all fringy and pretty. And then you're taking advantage of the actual fraying to make it look pretty, but it's also not going to be leaving tiny threads everywhere when you're using it. And then I made my 2 L's, which were super easy, but I did make the bottom a little bit longer than I probably should have. I was dreading making the A, but it was easy after all. I just wasn't sure about how I was going to get the insides, but again, it would have been a lot easier if I used my fabric tack, but the sewing wasn't as bad as I thought. So then for the fringes on the A and one of the L's, I'm again using just one section of the fringes. I don't know why I keep calling them fringies. They're just little fringies. I just think they're cute, so they're fringies. So I'm going to glue that to one side of my A and one side of my L. I left about 1 inch of the fabric on there so that I had something to glue it to. And then once I was done stuffing it all up, I'm going to do the same thing, close it up on the back, and they're done. And here it is all finished. I wanted to use these as pillows, but I know they won't stay in place for too long with the kids and with me. So you can also use this on a shelf or on your mantle. You can make it into a pretty garland by just taking some twine and sewing it through the back and letting it hang from your mantle, but I also thought it would be really cute to hang it on my blanket ladder. I don't know how long these will stay here because I use my blankets a lot. Anyway, I love how it turned out, and I hope you like it too. I hope you guys enjoyed these projects, and if you did, don't forget to give them a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think. If you're not already, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button down below, as well as the little bell right next to it so that you can be notified every time I upload a brand new video. Thank you again for all of your prayers. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and remember to always be the light. Bye!